In 1959's The Man in the Net, we witness Michael Curtiz near the end of his filmography, directing a Reginald Rose screenplay based upon a Hugh Wheeler novel about injustice. Think Hitchcock's The Wrong Man, except far more melodramatic. The Man in the Net aesthetically comes across as a film from a director who was at their peak during the 1930s and 1940s. Anything filmic about this production is traditionally theatrical, all about staging and set, about lighting and framing its players. There is no unique philosophy of editing, merely a functional, subtle photography. Curtiz appears to waste the talents of very able cinematographer John Seitz, as well as a reliance on screenplay which almost implies cynicism about the medium itself, that is, cinema as theatre rather than as animation. Don't get me wrong, I do like this film. Its directorial style is pronounced and satiating, although it emphasises what can be considered by 1959 as an aggressively conservative filmmaking ethos, especially compared to the younger titans such as Hitchcock, Ray, Huston, or even Preminger. Remember 1950s Where the Sidewalk Ends? Very visual, very filmic. Comparing this back to back with Hitchcock's The Wrong Man, previously discussed on FOTD, and a film I cannot remove from my mind when considering this one, it is easy to identify what Curtiz exactly pioneered and what it was that came to replace his prized formula. Watch The Man in the Net. You can tell he was a sound era Hollywood pioneer by the grace of his framing, his understanding of space, and the elegant power of his close-ups during dialogue scenes. His handling of these facets is so masterly fluid so as to potentially suggest, even without having context, that Curtiz pioneered the trail for this particular scale of Hollywood production, restrained, spatially involving action-adventure thrillers in 90 minutes or less. Curtiz is the initial genius of this format during 1930s Hollywood. One could potentially consider this to have been a move away from the Griffithian style of Hollywood production architecture, and one could consider Dwayne/Fairbanks as the midway point between these two things. See 1922's spectacular Robin Hood picture, discussed not very long ago on FOTD, very briefly, not particularly in depth, I must say. But anyway, The Man in the Net is way better than The Freaking Hangman, released that same year and also directed by Curtiz and also previously discussed on this program. Anyway, have a terrific day, everyone.